Forecast.
Hey guys, this is a weekly forecast for February 1st through the 5th of 2021. Okay, so let's start off with the Euro Yen. This is a weekly chart. We'll do an overview. Okay, so there was a strong long here, weak short. So we were long biased until this target high right here, which was touched 4 weeks ago. And then there was another short trade here. So we want this short trade to fall as much as possible so we could take it right back up to this new target at this pivot high. Okay. Alright, so let's talk entries. Okay, this is a daily chart. We were looking at this trend line from this pivot to this pivot. We wanted price to fall down here and see what happens at this level. Okay. However, if you look at the 4-hour chart, okay, price began to respect this trend line right here, and price went up, went through many targets and gaps. Okay. Now, it still hasn't touched that weekly target high, so possibly if we could still get that pullback down. And the first thing we want to be looking for is for this 4-hour trend line to get broken out. And then possibly we could get that daily pullback, right? So this is a daily chart. Right, so this trend line. So if that 4-hour trend line is broken out, maybe we could still get that pullback down to this trend line for a long. Okay. So we have to wait and see on this one. I'll keep you updated on the midweek analysis. Okay, let's keep going to the Aussie NZD. Oh, and please subscribe if you like these videos. And please press the like button. It really helped me out, guys. Thank you. Okay, so this is an Aussie NZD monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. Okay, so we had this strong double bottom right here against a weak downward trend line. And so we were long biased until at least that trend line level right here, or perhaps this pivot high. Okay, so let's talk entries. Okay, so this is a daily chart. Okay, last week we were talking about this long trade, and then we had this short trade that was very strong. And so we're talking about the possibility that we could get a pullback trade for another long. However, I also mentioned it's under the assumption that these trend lines do not get broken out. Now those trend lines were broken out. Okay, so that pullback long, I can't really recommend something like that. Okay, so now what we're looking at, right? Now if we look at this level right here, again, this is a daily chart. In order for this general range to hold, right? So if it holds, goes up and down, it doesn't get past these levels, and then we could still possibly get another long trade up, right, to that monthly target. But for this place to hold, let's go down to the 4-hour chart. Price is going to have to respect this pivot, and more importantly, this pivot. If price even touches this bottom pivot, this level will not hold. In which case, what we want to be looking for is we want to go back to the weekly chart and look for weekly trend lines to get respected. Okay, we want to be looking for this trend line from this pivot to this pivot, or perhaps this pivot to this pivot. Okay, so if that daily level doesn't hold, the next level we want to be looking for longs are these levels. And again, we want price to have compact price action. Okay. Okay, so let's keep going to the pound dollar. Oh, and I just put out lesson 5 of my price action trading course. That's about how to draw trend lines effectively. So if you have time, please check that out. Okay, so this is the pound dollar monthly chart. Let's start off with an overview. Okay, so this is a weak double bottom right here. Now, weak double bottoms typically don't go as target height. So the target height is right here. Take that above. It's generally in this area, right? So not reaching it will be generally in this area, which actually coincides with these nice highs right here. So for the time being, I'm long biased, but in the long term, I'm short biased. Okay, medium term long, long term short. Okay. Okay, so let's go on to entries. Okay. Now this is a daily chart. Okay, we're talking about this trend line from this pivot to this pivot right here. Okay. We want a price to pull back and then have compact price action on this trend line for another long. Okay. However, on the 4-hour chart, this week, it's really showing signs that price might just go up without that pullback. Okay, so if you draw this trend line from here to here, price is really respecting that trend line. Okay, so there was a long trade here last week, then a weak short trade, and so price didn't go to it, but it seems like price is trying to stop that out at this point. Okay, but again, we're gonna have to see about this. You never know. If price breaks out of this 4-hour trend line, then possibly we could get that daily trend line pullback from here to here. Okay, so we're going to have to see about that. Okay. Okay, so let's go on to the Nzdusd USD. Okay, the Nzdusd USD. Okay, this is a daily chart. We'll start off with an overview. Okay, so this is a week long, but price still went up just based on momentum. So we're looking for a short right back down to this daily pivot low. Okay, so let's talk entries. Okay, so this is a weekly chart. We're talking about this trend line from this pivot to this pivot. We want price to respect it. At this point, it is. And on top of that, this is a 4-hour chart. We wanted price to round out or perhaps get a price pattern. So a double top or possibly a bigger HNS right here. Okay. So that's what we're waiting for. We're just waiting to get these price patterns to form. However, there's one thing we want to be careful for. Okay, so let's go back to that weekly chart. Okay, so here's that trend line that we wanted it to respect, right? And that is happening. However, if you look at this trend line from the bottom, from this pivot to this pivot, price is really respecting that level too. So what we want, okay, if we could take this short at this level, what we want is for weekly price to break out of this trend line down or surpass it. Okay, because then it's going to shift the power balance to this downward trend line. Will be stronger, right? Okay, so that's another thing we also want to be looking out for. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I'll keep you updated with the midweek analysis on this one too. But for the time being, it seems like we just have to really wait for those formations to form. Okay, so let's go on to the USD JPY. Okay, the USD JPY, this is a monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. Okay, ultimately, we're targeting this pivot low down here, but before that, I'm pretty sure we're going to pull back to 107 level and possibly 109 level and then hit that level. Okay. Okay, so let's talk entries. Okay, we'll stay on this monthly chart. We're talking about this level right here. From this pivot to this pivot. We wanted price to respect this level. Right? So for the time being, it is. Simultaneously, we also wanted price action on the 4-hour chart to round out. Now at this point, it is rounding out. However, I also mentioned that there are some levels that price has to get through in order to reach that 107 level. So if you recall, let's go back to the weekly chart. We're talking about these gap levels, right? So this gap from here to here. Price has to get through this level in order to reach that 107 level. Okay? And we're talking about how price, we want it to be very compact like this, and then break through to 107, possibly 109, and then fall. Okay, so if you're long this trade, remember that level. I don't know why I just erased that. Ugh, sorry. Okay, so this area is a target area. I would definitely take some profits here because you never know if it's going to get through there. Okay. So you could target 107, 109. However, this is a target area to take some profits. Okay. Okay, so I think that's it for this week's weekly forecast. Again, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great week. Okay, bye.